Good morning, Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sandhills. It's time once again for Mornings with the LeaderMan. I am Steve Leader Adams, along with the Colonel, retired Marine Colonel Jeff Drummond. Good morning, Colonel.
Good morning, Moore County. Time once again to take in the fresh air of truth and freedom, found only here at WEEB. I'd like to wish you all a Merry Governor DeSantis Christmas. He's appropriating $8 million to resettle illegals that have been sent to Florida, and he's going to resettle them at Martha's Vineyard and in Delaware. Yep, that's what he plans to do with the $8 million he's going to appropriate, is transfer some of those illegals out of his state and to the people that deserve to have them. And, those companies and people that are bringing those illegals in, well, he plans to suspend their licenses and permits and things like that and put them out of business in Florida. So, yeah, congratulations and a Merry Christmas for Governor DeSantis.
Well, that's the kind of governor you want, for sure.
Yeah, wish we had one.
Hey, Brandon. Here's some illegals on your front doorstep. You all celebrate Christmas together.
I've said that before. Yeah, you ought to just take a bus and dump them off. Well, Governor DeSantis is going to do it.
Well, it's about time. That'll put him at the top of the list of potential candidates.
Yeah, that's right. It does for my list.
Yeah, mine too. Don't forget, of course, we're being heard and seen around the world on a live video stream. That's up and running now at talk973.com or talk1041.com or weeb990.com. Top middle of the page is where the link's located on your mobile device. You get to it by using YouTube and put Mornings with the LeaderMan in the search. You can also get our audio stream anytime, 24/7. You get it with any streaming app. Just put WEEB in the search, or get it off the web right at our website. Upper right-hand corner of every one of our web pages has an icon that says "On the Air, Listen Live." If you click that once, you're listening that quick anywhere in the world. Weather for us today here in the Sandhills area. Going to be the beginning of a warming trend around here. Sunny today with a high of 62. Tonight, clear 31. Tomorrow, partly cloudy 62. Thursday, look for partly cloudy 66. 72 on Friday. Saturday, mostly cloudy 74. Saturday night, some showers work their way in here as the front comes through. Sunday will be partly cloudy, scattered showers, high of 56. And then we'll start warming up again. Right now around the Sandhills, winds are south-southwest of 1, pressure 30-20, dew point 28, humidity 65%. It is clear currently here and 41 degrees at WEEB. Mariah Carey, of course, there was one of the songs you'll hear more than anything else this Christmas. Came out several years ago and caught on immediately, and it's been doing well ever since. So, all I want for Christmas is you. It is 7:39 past the hour. Let's
hey, before you go ahead, a real quick comment.
Okay.
That information I passed you about Governor DeSantis, I found that on the Big League Politics website, bigleaguepolitics.com. So you can read all about it there.
Where the big boys play.
Well, they come up with some pretty good stories.
All right. Never can get enough good websites. You can get a bunch of crap, but anyway, let's move forward. Next hour, we'll be talking about school board business with David Hensley, who's a member of the school board. As you heard in the news there, that a new chairperson has been installed by the school board. Libby Carter effectively stepped down and replaced herself with Pam Thompson, who rose from the vice chair to the chair, of course, again on the 4-3 vote for liberal votes versus the 3 conservative votes. And Thompson has been well known to say that teachers should be picked partially on their race. Another turn it into a racist thing as to who gets hired. We want the most qualified. We want the one with color. So there you go.
Well, I think didn't it say she just said, "Hey, all things being equal, take the person of color," which is still wrong. But,
or if the qualifications of the non-white is close to.
Oh, I missed that piece. So yeah, all right. Well, there you go. That's a that's a non-starter. Yeah, you take the most qualified. That's it.
Maybe when they hire, they should all wear blindfolds and hire that way.
I had somebody, say, hey, can we do this without the do your selection without pictures, without racial indicators in the application, et cetera. And I'm not sure you can get there without some. I don't know if you can do a completely blind selection process, but if you could, that would be the way to go.
Yeah. Well, you can put up a curtain and use a voice distorter to.
For interviews and things. Yeah, I guess you could. Yeah.
Depends on how far you want to carry it.
Yeah. Well, that would be the colorblind. Oh, who else thought of that? Yeah, I don't know. Martin Luther King. I can't remember.
Perhaps. All right, let's start out with the late night unit boys as soon as I can find them up here. Here we go. Late night unit boys from last night. Take one.
Well, get this. Authorities in New Zealand are investigating after one man apparently got 10 COVID vaccine shots on the same day and pretended to be a different person each time. If you ask what he got, he says Johnson & Johnson and Johnson & Johnson and Johnson & Johnson.
A new film adaptation of the musical West Side Story was released over the weekend in theaters, and as usual, the Jets lost.
The world's richest man, Elon Musk, was named Time Magazine's Person of the Year. Musk received the honor for his work in space exploration and after he bought 10 million subscriptions to Time Magazine.
In honor of National Brownie Day last week, a Massachusetts cannabis company created the world's largest pot brownie that weighed 850 pounds, and to keep people from accidentally eating it, they added walnuts.
I don't know what you say to that. It's
boring. John Daly was out holding a drink, barefooted, wearing his swim trunks and a shirt, out on the golf course, and decided to take his left hand and did a little chip shot near the green. He was probably 30 yards off the green while holding the beer. And you be the judge of whether this went in or not.
I don't do the one hand. Oh, no way.
Come on. Go in.
Oh,
Go in.
on.
Go in. Go in.
I guess it did.
Yeah, it did. Some good news for you out of the tragedy in those states hit by the tornadoes. This one from Tennessee. an 11-year-old, rescued all 4 of his siblings from a house fire over the weekend. Here's Brody Sims and his mother, Kimberly, talking about his brave act.
My mom and dad told us if there was a fire to grab everyone and run out of the house and then call the 911. There was a fire in the kitchen. I was standing right here, and then my sister called 911.
I would just say I'm just really thankful that kids have been trained what to do in emergencies. And we're just so proud of him. We're unbelievably proud.
I did what any big brother would do.
All right. Well, everything worked out.
That's good.
Jimmy Kimmel did another celebrity-filled edition of Mean Tweets. And as usual, some are pretty brutal. Here you go, a little composite of Mean Tweets.
Allison Janney looks like a substitute teacher everyone hates.
Tracy Morgan is your ugly-ass uncle that smells like Hennessy is not funny.
Danny McBride looks like what I expected Chunk from the Goonies to grow up to look like.
Tom Hanks is so sweaty in Top Gun, get a shower, you smelly little dwarf. That I take personally.
This is just wrong. Shaq's penis is Kevin Hart.
Okay, got to pick the Colonel up out of laughing on the floor so hard.
Yeah, I don't know. It's Tuesday.
A waitress out of Arkansas says she was fired from her job after receiving part of a $4,400 tip because she refused to split it with her entire staff after the customer specifically designated half of it for her. What happened was the group of 40 people ponied up the money for, I think it was 3 waiters that waited on them all night. And then the manager said that she would have to split that tip with the whole staff.
Yeah.
And she told the person who gave her the tip that. And he says, give me back that check. And he wrote another check directly to her.
Ooh.
Says, this was intended for you 3, period. So the manager says, you still got to share it. And she said, no. It was specifically written for us. And he fired her. Here is Grant Wise, the man who gave the tip, and Ryan Brent, the waitress who received it, explaining what happened.
We are tipping a total of $4,400.
It was an incredible thing to be able to do, to see the server's reaction and to know what that meant for her and the impact it's had on her life already.
I was to give my cash over to my shift manager to be taken, and then that I was going to be taking home 20%.
Yeah, I don't know how that works now, and every restaurant is different the way they do tips, and a lot of places everybody's tips go into one big jar and then they split them evenly or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. I think the guy giving the tip, maybe he should have just got her address and sent her a check later or something rather than get her fired. I don't know.
Well, she would have gotten $880. This way, she gets $4,000.
Yeah, I got it. I understand. And she, there's so many people looking for people to work. She'll probably have another job pretty quick. I mean, but it's, I don't know. I don't want to get in the middle of the restaurant business and policy and what they do in different places. It sounds like it's a shame, but
Well, they don't share all the other tips with the whole house.
See, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what their overall policy is.
That's what it is.
Is it? Oh,
yeah.
All right. Well, yeah.
It was just this one tip.
Oh, that's baloney then. Yeah. If you keep all, the places where, hey, the waitress takes the $5 bill or whatever off the table and that's hers.
Yeah.
And that's the policy of this place, and then this clown comes in there and says he wants the 4K. Yeah, I'm not giving it to him either.
Yeah, they may have policies also where any credit card tip, goes into a community pot for all the staff.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
Everybody seems like they do it a little different. Yeah, but if that was the thing, hey, everybody keeps their own tips, and the guy strokes her check for $4K or whatever. Yeah, I'm keeping that. If that's the way it's been all along.
Oh.
And then this dork comes over. No, you're gonna have to share that one. Nope. Sorry, buddy. You ain't getting any of my money.
All right.
And I'm packing my stuff and leaving. See ya.
Have you been watching the news lately? It seems there's a new wave to Christmas shop this holiday season.
Christmas is almost here, but supply chain issues have supplies down and demand high.
How will I ever afford Christmas?
Now there's relief. Your friends at Thief Co. are proud to introduce the Sledge Saver 1000. It's the perfect way to get everything on your list free. Designer watches, jewelry, clothes, designer handbags. Just smash and grab. And best of all, the Sledge Saver 1000 features an ergonomically designed handle. Not only does it save you money, it saves your tired joints and muscles. So save time and lots of money today and get the Sledge Saver 1000. Unless, of course, they've all been stolen.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Guy in New Zealand, which the country has kind of been losing it lately. He got 10 COVID shots in one day by posing as other people who paid him to get it for them.
Oh, no. Is that what it was about? Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering why is somebody wanting to get 10 COVID shots?
I wonder what kind of reaction that guy could have. Luckily, we found a voicemail message of him bragging about it.
Hey, Steve, it's Mike. Just thought I'd give you a call and tell you that I did it. I got 10 COVID vaccines in one day. Yep, some anti-vaxxers paid me a boatload of money to get poked instead of them. So far, so good. I feel great.
In fact, I feel fantastic. I was just lifting some weights at the gym and bench pressed twice my weight. Now I'm getting ready to go run a triathlon.
Yeah, no kidding. I guess, man. Short-term gains. I don't know for these COVID things. It seems to be in the soccer community. Well, it's not just there. The athletes nationwide here, usually, high school, college athletes. There's, about 10 individuals that have some kind of heart condition or heart attack in practice or during a game or something like that in past years historically. And this last year, there's been way more incidents of that nature, amongst high schoolers and college kids, etc., and professional, playing sports and all of a sudden keeling over. So, yeah, I don't know, man. 10 COVID shots, that didn't cut it for me.
When the COVID shot first arrived, they first gave it out to the elderly and then worked their way into the rest of the population. And people were rushing to get it. But as more and more study was done and research done and results analyzed, fewer and fewer people were rushing to go get that thing.
Yeah.
Wanting more information before they stick that needle in themselves.
The stampede has slowed significantly.
Yeah,
and then you have the Freedom of Information Acts or whatever they are on state levels against, for Pfizer to give up these various research studies and the paperwork on the development of their vaccine, et cetera. And Pfizer is fighting tooth and nail not to release any of that stuff and has requested the judge who's seeing this particular case to give them 75 years to release all that paperwork. So they're
going to slow walk it, huh?
That's what you call a clue. So, yeah, there's something in all these papers here, these developmental documents and, where they've done all the tests and things like that, and they don't want any of that out for 75 years. Okay.
All right, well, we've checked the headline news for you now, so let's take some time for the not headline news.
This is not headline news. The Golden Globe nominations are out. This year's event won't be televised. So unlike the Oscars, you have an excuse for not watching. Lindsay Lohan posted a picture on Instagram of her standing in the snow with her fiancé. Lindsay looks happy and continues to have quite the fondness for white powder. 66% of women say they want a private marriage proposal. The other 36% are Kardashians. And Nostradamus was born on this day in 1503, but he only lived until 1566. You'd think he would have known to take better care of himself. This is not headline news.
Well, back then, what was it, 50?
1503
to 1560. So he's 63 years old.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's that's
pretty good for back then.
Yeah, quite elderly for then. I think he beat the average by a little bit.
Well, Lion Brian over at MSNBC just retired, so let's honor the little liar with this great mashup of him singing Rapper's Delight.
I said a hip hop, the hippie to the hip hop. You don't stop the rocket to the bang boogie. Say up jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie, the beat. Now what you hear is not a test. I'm rapping to the beat. And me, the groove, and my friends are gonna try to groove your feet. See, I am Wonder Mike, and I'd like to say hello to the black, to the white, the red, and the brown, the purple, and yellow. But first, I gotta bang, the boogie to the boogie. Say up, jump the boogie to the bang, boogie. Let's rock. You don't stop. Rock the rhythm that will make your body rock. Well, so far, you've heard my voice, but I brought two friends along. And next on the mic is my man Hank. Come on, Hank, sing that song.
Check it out. I'm the C-A-S-N-D-O-V. And the rest is S-L-Y. You see, I go by the code of the doctor of the mix, and these reasons I'll tell you why. You see, I'm 6'1", and it turns up on a night dress to a teen. You see, I got more clothes than Muhammad Ali, and I dress so viciously. Everybody go hotel, motel. What you gonna do today?
Say what?
Because I'm a headline girl, gonna get some spanky drive off and the death OJ. Everybody go hotel, motel, holiday in. Say if your girl starts acting up, then you take her friend.
That's probably as honest as he's ever been.
A little help there from Lester Holt. Let's see. Oh, yeah. A 30-year-old woman went on TikTok, and her video went viral for a challenge where she turned a bobby pin into a house after 28 trades over a year and a half. Here's Demi Skipper seeing the house for the first time.
For the last year and a half, I've been on a quest to trade a single bobby pin up until I get to a house. After 28 trades and all the ups and downs, I finally did it. Okay, we're walking up to it. This feels so surreal. Oh my God. I can't believe this. A year and a half of trading a single bobby pin until I get a house. And I've done it. This just shows you it's possible.
Let's see you do that twice.
I'd like to see the chain of events. I have to look that one up.
All right, coming up on 8 o'clock, we'll check all your latest news, sports, and weather, and we'll be back.
With high pressure in control, we are going to see pleasant conditions persist. High temperatures are warming up into the afternoon as well, and we are going to see our rain chances return by the end of the week leading into the weekend. This afternoon, look for highs in the upper 50s and mid-60s. Tonight is going to be a cold one with temperatures in the upper 20s and mid-30s. Highs will reach the mid-50s and mid-60s for tomorrow. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center. Center.
Broadcasting from the top of the North Carolina Sand Hills, 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB, Southern Pines, Pinehurst, Aberdeen.
Breaking news this hour at townhall.com. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. The death toll from a tornado outbreak that killed at least 88 people in 5 states could grow, according to Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear. Here's correspondent Julie Walker.
Mourning the dead, searching for the missing, picking up the pieces of their lives. That's what's left for so many. In Missouri, Sandra Hooker lost her 9-year-old niece, Aniston Rackley.
She was, to me, an angel walking among us.
In Kentucky, Martha Thomas made it through the tornado with her dog.
I was sitting here praying.
Now she's searching the debris of what was her home with her son, Chad.
She spent the first 2 days in shock, just trying to figure out what I do next. What's the point? 73 years old, and I got to start over again. But today, she's back to normal.
Realizing she's lucky to be alive, and that meant she had more right there than many others. I'm Julie Walker.
In Sicily, rescue workers continue to search for more bodies in the rubble of buildings that collapsed following a gas leak explosion that happened over the weekend. There are 7 confirmed dead there. Some relief in sight for drought-plagued Californians. Compliments of a massive winter storm that brought more rain and snow on Monday. Despite the hazards, Oakland resident Zen Wood said,
I'm really happy for the rain. I think we needed it a lot.
Forecasters say the state's highest peaks could get as much as 8 feet of snow. Much of California is still in the grip of what's classified as an extreme drought. U.S. consumer spending is strong, but rising inflation remains a concern.
The head of the nation's second-largest bank says consumers are spending at a faster rate than he's ever seen. However, Bank of America's Brian Moynihan remains concerned about how inflation and supply chain issues will influence the economy going into the winter. Last week, we learned that inflation is at its highest level since 1982.
It's correspondent Greg Cluxon reporting. On Wall Street, Dow futures are up by 7 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Your pets have the same energy they used to? Do they have problems with itching, scratching, a dull coat, or goopy ears? Then your pets need Dinovite.
DINOVITE.com.
For over 20 years, pet owners have trusted Dinovite to supplement their pet's diet.
We started Dinovite, and in our first box, we noticed a difference.
Dinovite is an all-natural daily supplement made from whole foods that help support your pet's immune system, digestion, skin, and coat.
Within 3 weeks, he's not scratching and itching, and he's an all-around happier dog.
Today's commercial pet foods are processed at high temperatures, which bakes out all the essential goodness. These processed foods can lack the essential vitamins, enzymes, and probiotics that contribute to overall good health. Adding a scoop of Dinovite to your pet's food bowl is the answer.
If you love your pets as much as I do, you'll want to do what's best for them to live long, healthy, happy lives. I have 2 cats and 2 dogs. All 4 of them are on the Dinovite.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
DINOVITE.com.
The United Nations is growingly concerned about Afghanistan. BBC correspondent Imogen Folks has more detail.
The UN is especially worried by the humanitarian situation. Poverty and hunger are forcing families to marry off their children, send them out to work, and even, according to some reports, sell them. Economic sanctions mean public sector workers haven't been paid since August. Malnutrition levels are at record highs, and in an unprecedented move, the International Committee of the Red Cross has resorted to paying 5,000 health workers across 18 hospitals itself in order, it says, to prevent a total collapse of the healthcare system.
That's Imogen Folks reporting. A number of large school districts in California are getting rid of D's and F's for students. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. South Korea is marking a grim moment in its pandemic response. Charles de Ledesma reports that flooded with new cases now, the country's healthcare system says it simply may not be able to keep up.
South Korea is experiencing its deadliest day of the pandemic as an unrelenting Delta-driven spread stretches hospitals thin. Health experts warning the country's medical system is quickly approaching its limits and that fatalities could worsen if the government continues to be slow in tightening social distancing rules. Officials have been squeezing facilities to set aside more beds for COVID-19 patients and scrambling to speed up the administration of booster shots. The Korea Disease Control and Prevention Agency says 94 virus patients died in the past 24-hour period, while a record 906 were in serious or critical condition. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
More of these stories at townhall.com.
As our economy gradually reopens, remember to support local.
Know you're doing the right thing and stay proud.
Be a part of the greatest comeback of all time with Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
War Dogs Army Surplus is Moore County's largest selection of Army surplus. They buy, sell, and trade Army surplus, and they'll match any legitimate offer from competitors with a price match guarantee. They'll match and beat any competitor's price by 10%. With the largest selection of vintage and modern gear and collectibles, War Dogs has everything you're looking for. Open Monday through Friday, 10:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. 675 Southwest Broad Street in Southern Pines, or call 910-920-7749. That's 910-920-7749. War Dogs. We offer more and sell for less.
Serving more people, more places, 24/7. If your AC breaks down, we'll restore your indoor heaven. Installation or repair, one call, we'll be there. It's your family, don't delay. Comfort's just a call away. We're Comfort Services. Comfort Services.
Energy costs are predicted to increase next year, so now is the time to avoid those price increases by pre-selecting your HVAC equipment from Comfort Services before the end of the year. A deposit will lock in your price, and installation can be scheduled anytime. Replace your old inefficient HVAC system now with a new energy-efficient system from Comfort Services. Visit Comfort Services on Highway 5 in Aberdeen next to Habitat for Humanity, or call 910-695-2665.
Comfort's just a call away. Comfort Services.
Do you love great barbecue? Then you must try Whispering Q, Moore County's newest barbecue restaurant. They offer classic pulled pork and pulled chicken sandwiches, baby back ribs, smoked chicken wings, and even a smoked sliced prime rib sandwich. Plus, they have a wide variety of classic side dishes, burgers, and a kids menu too. If you want something different, order their pulled nachos. And don't forget dessert, apple pie. Splurge and get it with ice cream and caramel on top. Whispering Q is located at 2 Clubhouse Boulevard in Whispering Pines. They're open Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Friday and Saturday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Dine in or take out. Check them out on the web at whisperingq.com, like them on Facebook, or call 910-949-3000 and choose option 2 from the menu. Whispering Q. Ain't nothing quiet about this Q.
Tina's Breakfast and More on Highway 5 in Aberdeen has the best breakfast at the best price in Moore County. 2 eggs, sausage or bacon, grits or hash browns, biscuits or toast, just $6. And Thursday and Friday, just $5. Tina serves the lunch with more sandwich options and daily plate specials. Tina's Breakfast and More, next to the bowling alley on Highway 5 in Aberdeen. Open 6 days a week from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday is closed. Try it once, and you'll be back again.
Worried about gifts arriving too late this year? Shop local at True Value at Pinehurst in Olmsted Village. They have what you want in stock. Christmas decorations, household items, Weber grills, and Ego battery-operated power tools. They are next to Lowe's Foods and open Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Convenience, service, and selection. That's True Value Hardware at Pinehurst in Olmsted Village.
MCN News, I'm Mike Rayleigh. Recovery is still happening and communities still reeling from the devastating tornadoes in America's heartland. The death toll has jumped to at least 88 people across 5 states. Meanwhile, Nick Petro of the National Weather Service in Raleigh tells ABC 11 that part of preparation is reaction to severe weather warning.
receive that tornado warning, our goal is to give you at least 10, 15 minutes of lead time before the tornado strikes. But knowing what to do is a key component of severe weather safety.
President Biden is expected to visit the state of Kentucky tomorrow. David Bigno is there.
State officials are warning people who live in this area, you might be without water, electricity, and heat for weeks because of the damage of what this tornado did. Weeks they may be without it.
Students at Broughton High School in Raleigh will see more police officers on campus today, a day after a student brought a gun to school. Parent Kristen Bachman told WRAL-TV they're thankful for the quick communication from the school district.
Like most parents, I get a real jump in adrenaline when I hear about it.
Hundreds of sexual abuse victims of former USA gymnastics doctor Larry Nassar will share the $380 million at part of a settlement with USA Gymnastics and the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee. In an interview with the BBC, Rachel Denhollander, the first of the women to give up her right to anonymity to publicly accuse Nassar, had this reaction.
It shouldn't take more than 500 survivors and 5 years of pressure and intensive reporting to get to some measure of justice.
Parts of North Carolina are still classified in a drought. State climatologist Corey Davis says this is the most serious we've seen since 2008. He says there are some areas who did see some rain in recent days.
Basically, if you were south and east of Raleigh, that's where you would have at least seen noticeable rainfall. In the north and west, the totals were a lot lower, and in fact, some parts of the Northwest Piedmont and the Triad really saw nothing at all from this system on Wednesday.
You're listening to NCN News.
If you or someone you know has been the victim of a crime, the North Carolina Department of Public Safety Office of Victim Services is here to provide support. The office provides a range of free, confidential services to help you regain yourself, receive compensation for damages incurred, protect yourself and your family, and move beyond the stigma of being victimized. Visit ncdps.gov/4victims. That's ncdps.gov/4victims.
North Carolina's veterans are in trouble. 1 in 4 have no access to affordable health insurance. These people risked their lives for us in Iraq and Afghanistan. Now it is time for us to honor them and their service. North Carolina, we can do right for our veterans. We can close the coverage gap and help those who served our nation get the care that they need and deserve. To learn more about closing the coverage gap, go to careforcarolina.com. That's care4Carolina.com.
A 3-judge panel will soon hear a case challenging North Carolina's legislative and congressional maps, according to court filings released on Monday afternoon. Another climate alarm bell is ringing.
The United Nations has just verified that Siberia saw a record temperature of just over 100 degrees Fahrenheit last year. The World Meteorological Organization calls that more befitting the Mediterranean than the Arctic. The temperatures were fueled by forest fires and massive sea ice loss and played a significant role in 2020 being designated one of the 3 warmest years in recorded history. The agency's still seeking to verify what would be the hottest temperature ever recorded on this planet, 129.9 degrees in Death Valley, California. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
Several crews with the faith-based disaster relief organization Samaritan's Purse are now making their way from North Carolina to cities in parts of Arkansas, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Illinois. Relief manager Todd Taylor told CBS 17.
Look to see what the damage is, and so we can get our resources placed at the areas of greatest need.
The Library of Congress has announced this year's inductees into the National Film Registry.
Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, is among the 25 movies being recommended for preservation. So is a Lord of the Rings favorite.
No one knows it's here, do they?
The Fellowship of the Ring, Cooley High's Selena, and 1962's Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, with Joan Crawford and Betty Davis, are being inducted too.
Sister, sister, oh so fair, why is there blood all over your hair?
Movies are judged on their cultural, historic, or aesthetic importance to American culture. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
Today we're going to see a lot of sunshine with high pressure in place. It's going to be a pleasant one. Highs will reach the upper 50s and mid-60s. Overnight will fall into the upper 20s and mid-30s under mostly clear conditions. Tomorrow will be slightly milder with highs in the mid-50s and mid-60s with increasing clouds. We do have near record warmth possible by Friday, and then a cold front will move through by Saturday, bringing much needed rain. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood at the Weather Center.
Right now, here in the Sand Hills area, it's clear and sunny and 41 degrees. Humidity 65%, dew point 28, pressure's 30-22, and winds are west of 1. It's 8:14. Let's take a look at your Sand Hills news for this Tuesday morning. First Health of the Carolinas is warning the community about a phone scam that uses caller ID spoofing. First Health has received reports that people are receiving phone calls that appear to be from First Health phone numbers, but instead are from a scammer that could be trying to get your personal information. This is a case of caller ID spoofing, which is a manipulation of a caller ID feature that allows the scammers to disguise their true identity. In this case, they are disguising themselves as First Health of the Carolinas. If you receive a phone call like this, hang up immediately and don't share any personal information over the phone. Because the caller did not actually come from First Health, it's not necessary to call the number back. If you have given any personal information to a similar caller, please contact your bank and or credit card companies. If you believe that you are a victim of identity theft, you should call your local law enforcement. And First Health of the Carolinas reports that 99.8% of its staff has complied with the COVID-19 vaccination policy that took effect last month. The system-wide policy requires all employees, volunteers, vendors to get vaccinated against COVID by November 19th, although an unspecified number of exemptions were granted to workers who objected to being immunized for religious reasons. First Health declined to say what percentage of complaints or compliant workers are actually vaccinated. More than 5,300 people work at First Health, and the company is the county's largest private employer. That's your latest WEEB local news from the Sand Hills Sentinel. And, of course, you can always go online to sandhillsentinel.com for more information. It is 8:18. Sports is next, right here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB.
Your morning sports report is brought to you by Hughes Supply of Pinehurst. With over 50 years' experience, Hughes Supply can handle all your plumbing project needs from start to finish. Call 910-295-5541 or visit them online at HughesSupplyPinehurst.com.
NCN Sports. Good morning. I'm Tony Rixby. Mike Elko officially has been named the new head football coach at Duke University, introduced at a press conference on Monday. He spent the past 4 years as the defensive coordinator at Texas A&M. He replaces David Cutcliffe, who was fired after the first winless conference campaign in 14 years. Before Cutcliffe joined the Duke program, the Blue Devils may have been the worst FBS program in the country. Though he didn't mention Cutcliffe by name on Monday, Elko did acknowledge that the program had improved dramatically over the last few years.
There was a track around the football field. We didn't have that great tower. We didn't have this great practice complex. And so there's a lot of things about Duke right now that are not the same as Duke 15 years ago. And that's a winning tradition a little bit over the recent history, too.
Prior to being named defensive coordinator at Notre Dame, Elko had coached at Wake Forest under Dave Clawson for 12 seasons. Monday Night Football, the Rams cutting into the Cardinals division lead. Here's Dave Ferry.
The NFC West is a little tighter after the second-place Rams earned a 30-23 victory at Arizona. Matthew Stafford threw for 287 yards and 3 touchdowns, hitting Cooper Kupp 13 times for 123 yards and a score.
Just proud of those guys. In the past game, did a great job of getting open, making catches. Our guys up front dominated the line of scrimmage. That's where it starts for us. Sony did a great job of falling forward on some runs. There was a 3rd-and-1 run in the red zone where it's him and 34 in the hole. He just runs them over for the first.
Van Jefferson caught a 52-yard scoring strike early in the third quarter to put the Rams ahead to stay. Kyler Murray's 2 interceptions led to Los Angeles touchdowns as the Cardinals failed to clinch their first playoff berth since 2015. Arizona now leads the division by 1 game over Los Angeles. I'm Dave Ferry.
Dallas Mavericks last night routing the Charlotte Hornets 120-96. You're listening to NCN Sports.
The holiday season is right around the corner, so give the gift that's hard to wrap, but easy to give. Give them a Stihl. From powerful trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws under the tree to branded accessories stuffed in their stockings, the Stihl Holiday Gift Guide has something for everyone. Visit your local Stihl dealer or go to stihlusa.com/gift guide. Real Stihl. Find yours. Available at participating dealers while supplies last. Stihl outdoor power tools may be hard to wrap, but once they get opened, you'll see why Stihl is so easy to give. Find the right gift this year with battery power made by Stihl. From mowers and blowers to trimmers and chainsaws, our AK Homeowner series of battery tools starts at just $199.99. Shop now by visiting your local Stihl dealer or going to stihlusa.com/gift guide. Real Stihl. Find yours. All prices MSRP available at participating dealers while supplies last.
The NFL has updated its COVID protocols, or what the league calls its top 2 tiers of staff members who've already been vaccinated. CBS NFL insider and NFL reporter Jonathan Jones.
I think that we're going to see a greater testing cadence, and there is a meeting of all NFL team owners taking place in the Dallas area this week. And I think at that meeting, there's going to be more discussion as the NFL presents its findings to ownership. And I believe that the NFL will continue to work with the Players Association to try to find the best testing cadence as they wrap up the regular season and into the postseason.
Baylor number 1, Duke number 2 in the latest AP college basketball poll. Tony Rixby, NCN Sports.
The greatest comeback of all time is underway. Remember to shop local businesses. A reminder from Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
Hi, this is Rodney Swarms with Plumbing Night. We know that plumbing emergencies can happen at any time. In fact, they seem to happen at the most inconvenient times. And then inviting an unknown plumber into your home, that can add to the stress of the situation. The Plumbing Night wants to alleviate any stress about inviting a technician into your home by guaranteeing that we have not only the very best plumbers, but also the most knowledgeable plumbers. Before any of our employees are hired, all of the employees must undergo drug testing and a thorough background check. If they don't pass, they aren't hired. No exceptions. Once they're hired and part of the team, they receive continuous technical and customer training to ensure that they are the very best at their trade. This training is week after week, month after month, year after year. This training is what got us into community college to teach the plumbing trade. So the next time you have an emergency, call the Plumbing Night. They're known for extraordinary service and integrity.
Call the Plumbing Night at 639-5555, day or night, or on the web at theplumbingnight.com.
Serving more people, more places, 24/7. If your AC breaks down, we'll restore your indoor heaven. Installation or repair, one call, we'll be there. It's your family, don't delay. Comfort's just a call away. We're Comfort Services. Comfort Services.
Energy costs are predicted to increase next year, so now is the time to avoid those price increases by pre-selecting your HVAC equipment from Comfort Services before the end of the year. A deposit will lock in your price, and installation can be scheduled anytime. Replace your old inefficient HVAC system now with a new energy-efficient system from Comfort Services. Visit Comfort Services on Highway 5 in Aberdeen next to Habitat for Humanity, or call 910-695-2665.
Comfort's just a call away. Comfort Services.
Why should you work with the team at J. Park Carolina Living Realty? Good question. Hi, I'm Katie with J. Park Carolina Living Realty. We offer better solutions to get things solved. Sellers, we can give you a cash offer today with no showings required. Buyers, let us find that dream home for you so you can get off the multiple offer merry-go-round. We've got the magic wand to make these things happen. Text or call us to solve your real estate needs. 910-585-6979. That's 910-585-6979. Talk to you soon.
Hey folks, Celeste here, once again, Whispering Woods Golf Club. You are not going to believe what Whispering Woods Golf Club is offering. Affordable winter golf, $26, all inclusive, until the end of the year. Monday through Thursday, $26. Are you freaking kidding me? Come over to Ellis Maples Gem in the Sand Hills. Don't miss out on a great opportunity to play Ellis Maple's masterpiece at an affordable rate. We will also be offering a lifetime opportunity to join our club. Come and see me about details. Whispering Woods Golf Club, located at 26 Sandpiper Drive, Whispering Pines, or give us a call at 910-949-4653. And remember, book 'em, Dano.
Christmas is here and mistletoe is near. This is Dr. Terry Ann Sams of Sandhills Weekend Dental. We want you ready when that special someone comes for a visit. So give us a call at 910-687-4423 or check us out at sandhillsweekenddental.com.
Eat, kiss, and smile better.
And Merry Christmas, everyone.
Football season is back in session, and Rudino's Pizza and Grinders has your Sunday night ticket on DirecTV. Get a small grinder, side salad, and a bag of chips for just $5.99. Or try our renowned pizza, voted the best in Spectator magazine. Visit Rudino'sSouthernPines.com to see our complete menu and specials. Make Rudino's Pizza and Grinders your Sunday football sanctuary, located on Pinehurst Avenue in Southern Pines.
Right now at Cooper Ford in Carthage, you can stuff your stockings with savings by pre-ordering a wide selection of new Fords arriving daily, like the all-new iconic Ford Bronco or the all-new Ford F-150 Lightning electric truck.
This is Aaron Cooper from Cooper Ford in Carthage. The price you see is the price you pay. From all of us here at Cooper Ford, wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Please come visit us in historic Carthage or visit us on the web at cooperford.net.
Happy holidays from the locally owned Cooper Ford. Always working hard to be your hometown dealer.
If you're like most folks, you love your home. You love your neighborhood and those that live around you. But when you go inside your home, you see that it is in need of a massive updating, especially those bathrooms, kitchen, and great room. You know that these areas need upgrading, but you also know what a task it is to do it yourself. Hi, I'm Steve Leader Adams, and I've built over 2,000 homes, and I and my partner Larry Postawade have over 70 years of construction experience and have our own remodeling business called Relive It Remodeling. We also pride ourselves on making remodeling jobs an easy and enjoyable process for our clients. We look after everything from permits to the last paint stroke. We also show up when we promise and stay until completion. And we also recycle any materials through the Wounded Warrior program. And here's one more promise. Nobody, and I mean nobody, does better quality work than we do. For your next renovation job, give me a call right here at WEEB at 692-7440 or check us out on the web at relivitremodeling.com.
Hey, if you want to mail your Christmas gifts, you need to come to FedEx Quick Pack and Ship at 216 Commerce Avenue in Southern Pines. Quick Pack and Ship is your newest full-service mailing, shipping, and office solutions. Owner Brad Harkins can help you get your FedEx Christmas packages sent anywhere in the USA and overseas. Now's the time to come. FedEx Quick Pack and Ship before it gets too late. Open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5:30, and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2. Call 910-725-0336 or go to their Facebook.
We're proud to be working with our local businesses for the greatest comeback of all time.
Come together.
With Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
The Zumwalt Zone is proudly sponsored by Moore County Citizens for Freedom. Always looking out for you.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. Let me ask you a question. What would you do if you were on an airplane about to take off and the pilot came out, got on the PA system, and made the following announcement? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Captain Jones. I'd like to thank you for flying with us today, and I hope we make it okay. Our airline has been successful for decades, but we've decided we're going to try some new stuff, beginning with this flight. That's right. You'll be the first ones ever to experience some of the new ideas we believe are on the cutting edge of flying. Let me say, I think it'll turn out all right, but if not, we hope your family and friends will continue to use this airline. All right, it's me again. That is exactly what our school systems are telling us. They took a system that had worked for decades, and they decided to try some new stuff. They never asked us about it. They just did it with our kids in the passenger seats. And as a result of their pilot programs, and about half of Moore County kids can't read and they can't do math, even by the most basic standards set by the state. Don't you think we should demand answers? If you've been in the education business for decades, don't try to get my vote for the Board of Education. You had your chance. I hope you'll all pay attention to the school board race here. We need to get things back to the way they should be, back to the business of education. I hope everybody has a wonderful day today. From the Zoom Wall Zone.
With high pressure in control, we are going to see pleasant conditions persist. High temperatures are warming up into the afternoon as well, and we are going to see our rain chances return by the end of the week leading into the weekend. This afternoon, look for highs in the upper 50s and mid 60s. Tonight is going to be a cold one with temperatures in the upper 20s and mid 30s. Highs will reach the mid 50s and mid 60s for tomorrow. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills' #1 morning show. Mornings with the LeaderMan. Here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
Know what's coming.
You don't even know what's coming.
I know it's coming.
Getting closer and closer.
You're getting closer all the time.
Another minute, closer to Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
It's time to start your Christmas shopping.
Did you get your shopping done?
I'm done all my Christmas shopping. I'm good.
All our Christmas shopping is done.
I don't make much money, and Christmas is very expensive.
Anyway, Merry Christmas!
It's so ho time.
You play with her and then you throw it away. Why do you use me? Try to confuse me.
Good morning, Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. Hey, welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sandhills. It's time once again for Mornings with the LeaderMan, which is coming to you live and local from our studios here in Southern Pines. And, of course, with me, I'm Steve Leader Adams, and, of course, with me every morning is the Colonel, retired Marine Colonel Jeff Drummond. Good morning, Colonel.
Good morning, Moore County. Time once again to take in the fresh air of truth and freedom, found only here at WEEB. And it's time to pull up that big pot of coffee and a big bag of, well, I don't know, apple fritters, bear claws, donuts, whatever your choice, and sit down at the table because there's some information here that you're going to have to hear. So stand by.
Yeah, this will be, what's the word? Very exciting show this half hour. Don't forget, of course, we're being heard and seen around the world on a live audio stream and video stream. Video, both an audio and video available at our websites at talk973.com or talk1041.com or WEEB990.com. Video is in the top middle of the page. The audio by itself is in the upper right-hand corner of every page where it says listen live. Click it once, you're listening live that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sandhills area. It's going to be a warming trend, and it's going to feel good. Look for sunny today with a high 62 degrees. And then, for tonight, mostly clear. Low of 31 tomorrow, 62 again. Then for Thursday, 66. Friday, all still sunny. 72 on Saturday, 75. Right now around the Sand Hills, winds are west of 1, pressure is 30-22, Dew point 28, humidity 65%. It is sunny, 41 degrees currently here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. Well, since we got so much stuff to stuff in a half an hour, we're going to be with David Hensley here, member of the school board. Last night you had a big meeting, and
yes, we did. We had a good meeting last night,
and it wasn't boring.
It was not boring. There was not a boring moment in in the meeting. So let's start off with what everyone probably thinks is the big news, and that is, as of last night, Moore County Schools is mask optional. I'll say that again. Moore County Schools has joined the rest of the sane world and made mask optional, with the exception of school transportation.
On the buses.
On the buses. So masks must be worn on yellow school buses and on activity buses. But outside of that, your athletes are mask free, your students, well, mask optional. The teachers, the faculty, the staff, and all the students can wear masks or not wear masks at their option.
As it should be.
Yeah, and so that is good news, and the vote was 7-0, 7-0, which illustrates it is obviously.
I bet you about fell out, didn't you?
No, because again, this was all heavily orchestrated, and it illustrates we can't possibly have parental choice. We cannot possibly let them wear masks. I am pro mask until the superintendent tells them to vote mask optional. Mm-hmm. The minute the superintendent tells Carter, Caldwell, Dennison, and Thompson, hey guys, this has run its course. Politically, we need to make it mask optional because it's an election year, right, and this and that. Then all of a sudden, they magically see the light and they vote in lockstep. So not an original thought in their body. They just continue to rubber stamp what the superintendent said, which is ironic because the highlight of last night was me pointing out that exact behavior and how that has put Moore County Schools at legal risk. So what I'd like to do today is I'd like to do a repeat of a little speech I gave last night. It was almost like Citizen Hensley goes to school board. It was quite the thing. Former Chair Carter had a meltdown about halfway through it. Stated that it was not relevant, and made me postpone it until my closing comments. And then I got to say the whole thing. I was halfway through it, and then I got to say the same thing again, but I picked up where I was calling out the board attorney for crap that he did, and then he got so tired of me saying it that he just conceded, okay, Mr. Hensley, it was a contract. So anyway, I got to say this 1.5 times last night due to Chair. By the way, if you watched the meeting, and I'm really disappointed in this. I had high hopes in Chair Thompson because I thought she would be fair-minded, but I wasn't looking that way. But people told me throughout the entire meeting, Libby Carter was elbowing her, going whispering in her ear, and then Pam Thompson would do exactly what Libby Carter did. So now the puppet chain of command seems to be central office puppeteer to Libby Carter puppeteer to Pam Thompson puppeteer.
I saw it a couple of times. Of course I didn't hear what was said. But.
Yeah, I mean, look, I had high hopes, but it's just more of the same. Anyway, so with no further ado, let me get this started. By the way, I did this in large type, not quite as big as Ed Dennison's type.
I can read that from here.
Yeah, if this was Ed Dennison's size type, you'd be able to read it from your house.
Okay.
That's teleprompter type.
Yeah. Right. Okay, so everybody grab a apple fritter and a cup of coffee, and let's tell this little story. So at my first school board meeting, ironically, where the board violated some policy, I forgot what it was, I stated that the Moore County School Board was going to follow its own policies and North Carolina general statutes. Unfortunately, that has frequently not been the case over the past year. In the past year, the Moore County Schools Board of Education has repeatedly violated its own policies, various North Carolina general statutes, and, if recent lawsuits against 3 school board members are correct, federal law. The executive summary, and then I gave this in context of the school improvement plans. The school improvement, little background, the school improvement plans, approving them, which we had approved them 2 months ago, but reapproving them, and you'll find out why later, was on the consent agenda because they wanted to sneak it by and hope that nobody noticed that they were reapproving plans that had previously been approved. That is very important to this. So the executive summary that was posted for the school improvement plans is not correct, as it mischaracterizes what transpired in the approval of the school improvement plans, and that misrepresentation reflects what's been dysfunctional about the Moore County School Board for the past 5 or 6 years, maybe 7 years. Specifically, the previous board chair and certain members of the central office has a clear culture of scheming and or presenting only one-sided, biased, and conclusionary information to the school board. And when the scheme or misinformation are revealed, or the information does not withstand any level of scrutiny, they develop another scheme or mischaracterize what happened instead of saying, yeah, you're right, we didn't know, this is against the law, we'll take another look at it. That's what a normal person would do. Right. Oops. Yeah. But instead they double down. It is simply unacceptable for many reasons, not the least of which is it puts Moore County schools in legal jeopardy. By the way, has anyone noticed that we've been sued twice in the last several months? Yeah. And if I had $1 for every time the advice from our attorney was, yeah, it's illegal, but there's no monetary penalty, so even if someone sues, you aren't out anything. If I had $1 for every time that was the advice given, I would be rich. But I find that attitude reprehensible, and that's not why I was elected to the school board. That's not what elected officials should do, and I'm not going to play along with that game. So here's what really happened in the school improvement plans. And I apologize for this, but you got to have these dates in your head. On 5 October of this year, 5 October, there was a special called meeting with school improvement plans on the agenda where we reviewed the school improvement plans. 5 October. On 12 October, we were supposed to approve the school improvement plans. I pointed out that we couldn't approve it because North Carolina General Statute 115 Charlie-105.27 was violated. By the way, when I pointed that out, the pilot reported that I was being an obstructionist, right? Yes, what they didn't say is I was quoting the North Carolina General Statute and pointing out they were violating the law. But the pilot editorial board said I was being an obstructionist. No Warnoff, no Nagy. I was pointing out they were violating the law. You seem to have left that out of your editorial. Anyway, so they violated the statute in 3 ways, 2 of which were very minor, but one was important, and that is specifically that the statute requires prior to a vote to accept a school's improvement plan in accordance with the statute, the local board of education shall review the school safety components of the plan for the school. Right? Yeah. So let me say that again. So they wanted we reviewed the school improvement plans, but we hadn't reviewed the school safety plans. Right. And they wanted us to vote on that, to approve them. And I pointed out that the North Carolina General Statute, and I'm quoting it, I'm quoting this. This is the plain language of the statute. Prior to a vote to accept a school's improvement plan in accordance with general statute, whatever, the local board of education shall review the school safety components of the plan for the school in closed session. I pointed out that we had not reviewed the school safety plans concurrent with the school improvement plans, and that we're not in compliance with the general statute because the school improvement plan is being approved ahead of the school improvement plans. It is a clear and plain violation of a very plainly written North Carolina general statute. Our legal counsel ignored the plain language of the statute and stated the school security plans to be approved in December, which is 2 months later, are okay, even though they are not yet approved. More importantly, the incumbent school boards once again ignored the plain language of the statute and the opinion of 2 school board members, that's me and Levy, and voted to approve the school improvement plans. When we were discussing this, there was no mention of initial approval or partial approval as stated in today's executive summary. The executive summary said that we had done partial approval, but no, that they're redefining it. They're making stuff up.
Yes.
That is not what we did. The attorney said, nope, this is good, it's legal, go ahead and approve them. Then the incumbent school board members voted to approve it. Now, fast forward to today, last night, the executive summary redefined that as partial approval, which it wasn't. So fast forward to last night. Here we are redefining what happened and finally complying with the North Carolina general statute. They tried to sneak it in via the consent agenda. That's why I pulled it off the consent agenda, because I wanted to change my vote on it, because I had previously voted no because it was illegal, and I changed my vote to yes. And secondly, I wanted to use this to point out to the public the crap that the incumbent school boards in cahoots with the central office had been doing the entire time I've been on the school board and for the previous 6 years. So anyway, we're going to discuss this so everybody clearly understands what happened. So if this sounds familiar, it should. I've got several more examples because they do this all the time. Like I said, they did it last night with the mask. All of a sudden, well, we'll talk about that. That'll be my 4th example. So if it sounds familiar, let's talk about the $1.4 million contract, which was not a contract. So let's talk about this. On 12 October, we had a regular school business meeting. On 13 October, with the next day, we had a business meeting on a Monday. On Tuesday, with no prior announcement, no board notification or board approval, the superintendent announced via email free COVID testing in Moore County schools, which subsequently turned out to be via $1.4 million contract from the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services. So we have a school board meeting, no mention of this, no nothing. Then the very next day, we're having free COVID testing. So let's go back a few months. The exact same thing happened when they had those vaccinations on school campus. Exact same thing. We had a school board meeting, no mention of it, no running it by the board, no board permission. The next day, the superintendent unilaterally announces that the Moore County Board of Health is having vaccinations aboard our campuses. Don't you think maybe you could have mentioned that in passing?
Right.
Right. But
exactly.
Anyway, so the superintendent chose not to say anything to the board, or at least me, Levy, and Holmes. So that happened on 13 October. On 21 October, during a budget review meeting, I pointed out that the superintendent's ability to sign contracts was limited to $50,000. I further stated that $1.4 million is greater than $50,000. Therefore, the superintendent did not have authority to sign it.
He does not.
He does not. We're both Marines, but even we know 1.4 million is greater than 50,000.
The crayon can write that number.
Yes. Well, yes, if we haven't eaten them first. That's a problem. So then the board attorney subsequently ruled that the contract wasn't a contract, right? In spite of the fact, and I passed these out to all my fellow board members, and I gave a copy to Mary Kate, the pilot reporter. So the board attorney ruled that this document I'm holding in my hands is not a contract, in spite of the fact that at the top of every page it says contract number 43389. The title is General Contract Cover. The first paragraph states this contract, right? So the board attorney said that this wasn't a contract. On 22 October, the next day, the chair Carter, Libby Carter, took to Facebook to announce that Dr. Grimacy did not exceed his authority because the board attorney ruled it wasn't a contract, right? So first of all, I guess she's revealing, confidential attorney-client stuff, and she's cool with her doing that on Facebook. But if I even hint at it, oh, Mr. Hensley, you're out of order. So let's get back to Chair Carter and her little announcement. Apparently, Libby Carter didn't read the document, or perhaps she didn't understand it, because had Miss Carter read the contract, she would have realized in the very first paragraph, it states that she, as the board, would have had to have signed Appendix Section H, which she would have had to sign Section H, which stating that Dr. Grimacy was authorized to sign contracts.
Yes.
Right? So she either didn't even read it herself, or she didn't understand that she had to sign a document stating that Dr. Grimacy was authorized to sign what? Contracts? And she went on Facebook saying, it's not a contract, it's not a contract. Anyway, so that happened on 22 October. So on 8 November 21, guess what? You can go look it up. On the agenda, you will see that approving a $1.4 million contract was added to the agenda because guess what? Hensley was right. And Levy was right. So the superintendent was wrong. The chair was wrong. The attorney was wrong. And the 4 incumbent school board members voted in lockstep to approve, to ignore it in this case. So how could this be? I will answer that for you. Rubber stamp. They were ideologically driven. They were determined to rubber stamp. They were determined to do whatever the superintendent recommends, even if they were wrong. They ignored the plain language. They ignored the advice of Hensley and Levy, and they were wrong. All of them were wrong. Another example, surveys, right? So if that's not good enough, let's talk surveys. For years, parents and concerned citizens stood up there on the stage and pointed out that the surveys Moore County schools were not in compliance with federal law and Moore County school policy. They were ignored. They were ignored because they didn't have an advocate on the board. The minute the syllables left their lips, no one on the school board or central office cared. So the central office continued to maintain that the surveys were 100% legal and in compliance with all the laws. Then you remember Panorama. Parents came up there and expressed their concerns, and some of them were, hey, it's leftist crap, but many of the concerns were these surveys are illegal, they're improper, they shouldn't be administered. Over the objection of Hensley, Levy, and Holmes, and probably 2/3 of Moore County's parents and citizens, the incumbent spent $180,000 buying Panorama survey software. Then, later on, a couple months later, when the central office requested permission to conduct surveys, they have to ask permission to conduct surveys. Once again, the central office stated that surveys were 100% legal and in compliance. But in that same brief, and this happened over the course of a couple meetings or a couple iterations, but the end result was the central office stated that some survey information retained student identifying information and was stored off-site in Panorama's servers. I pointed out that this was against the very plain written and easy to understand Moore County school policy, which states surveys will be anonymous, shall be anonymous, and no record will be kept of what students were given surveys. Well, it turns out that they were violating that. But anyway, rather than use the plain language of the policy, once again, the Moore County school attorney ruled that the policy didn't mean what it plainly stated. So the school board voted, so the school board voted 4-3 to spend $180,000 to buy the survey. Once again, over the objection of parents, Levy, Hensley, Holmes, the incumbents voted 4-3 to give them the authority to proceed with this year's surveys. Then, the following meeting, the central office subsequently announced surveys are postponed until further notice. No reason was given. None of the incumbents asked why, and to date, we still don't know why that we spent $180,000 on survey software. Parents have been saying for 4 or 5 years that these surveys are in pauper. All of a sudden, after years of maintaining everything's cool, the central office pulled the plug. So once again, I ask, how can this be, right? The superintendent central office was wrong. The chair was wrong, the attorney was wrong, and the 4 incumbent school board members voting in lockstep were 100% wrong. Again, how can this be? I'll tell you, rubber stamp. They were determined to rubber stamp. They were ideologically driven, even if they were wrong. And they ignored parents and citizens for years on this topic, but they were wrong. They admit that they were wrong because they stopped doing surveys. After spending $180,000 of your money, they were wrong. So here's the cycle. The central office comes up with a proposal. Hensley or Levy or the public points out it's contrary to policy or law. Attorney makes immediate finding the proposal's fine. The incumbent that the proposal's fine. The incumbents rely upon the wrong advice. Then it turns out that they were wrong, and the item is later snuck into the agenda, or some other improper scheme replaces it until ultimately, pardon the pun, the wheels fall off the bus.
Right.
Speaking of wheels falling off the bus, we really need to form, Chair Thompson needs to form a committee, put Bob Levy in charge of it, and that committee needs to look into the facts and circumstances surrounding our transportation department. That transportation department, for whatever reason, they've gone through 2 leaders in the last 2.5 years. That transportation department is broken. They're not taking care of their employees. They're not taking care of the bus drivers. They're not taking care of the mechanics. And the school board does nothing about it other than whatever the superintendent says he's doing. I call on Chair Thompson to form a committee, put Bob Levy in charge of it, and let's find out what's really happening in the transportation department. Anyway, so what are we going to do about all this? First, we need to stamp out the culture of rubber stamping. The rubber stamping, what the superintendent recommends, the board votes. The only difference is, in the past, it used to be the superintendent recommends, the board votes 7-0. Now it's the superintendent recommends, the incumbents vote 4-0.
Right.
Just like happened last night, the superintendent, by the way, we didn't even meet the criteria for unmasking. And by the way, the superintendent, their justification for doing the unmasking, even though we didn't meet the criteria from the health department, was, well, these young people don't get COVID anyway. Well, the parents have only been saying that for a year, but now that it's convenient for the central office, they pull out what the parents have been saying for years. Yeah. Anyway, we need to stomp out the culture of rubber stamping, because academics are about the exchange of thoughts and ideas, discussion and debate. Right. Critical thinking, not closed-mindedness. School board members need to critically read presentations given by the central office and from all sides. They need to read and understand background information such as applicable Moore County school policies, North Carolina general statutes, and in the case of Chair Carter, she needs to read the damn documents that she signs. It says this is a contract and Dr. Grimacy is authorized to sign contracts.
Would be nice.
We as elected officials need to always follow our own policies and applicable laws, or if we're going to disregard them for whatever reason, we need to be open about them. We need to be 100% transparent in all of our dealings, have open discussions and open debate. Thank you, Moore County. I love you. Goodbye, and have a good week.
All right, so it goes for this Tuesday. Have yourself a great, safe day. We'll see you back bright and early tomorrow for a Hump Day Wednesday. Until then, be sure to support the mom and pop businesses you hear on WEEB. They're the backbone of our economy here in Moore County. They are our economic engine, so give them first crack at your spending dollars. And be sure to tell them WEEB suggested that you come. And don't forget also that millions of Americans have fought and they have died to give and protect the freedoms that you get to enjoy today. Live today worthy of their and their family's sacrifice. I'm Steve Leader Adams. And the LeaderMan and Nick and Colt the dog will see you at 2 this afternoon at the dog park.
When I come back.